Why are you fighting Derek Chisora? What's the motivation?
I need him more than he needs me.
People call out retirement as like time when Jordan was just on the sofa every day.
But I've never told you to retire fighting.
You're hooked. You got the disease. You're a junkie. That's it. Even see when I'm hanging out with Mike Tyson.
I made a comment about the artist formerly known as Prince, and I described you as the fighter formerly known as Deontay Wilder. You saying that someone like Fury cheated you in those fights.
I don't want to talk about him.
I think is kind of disappointing to me
You can say
about
what you
because
want. I know the truth. I have the facts. I got the proof. I got the people to tell it. I come in and try to give you a vision, a little insight of what we go through as black people, man. Let me get the out of here, bro. I'm out of here. The cheated. Tell him to sue me.
Welcome to a special episode of Talk Boxing with Simon Jordan and Spencer Oliver, where today we're joined in the studio by the former heavyweight champion of the world, Deontay Wilder, and national treasure and two-time heavyweight title challenger, Derek "War" Chisora, ahead of their clash on April the 4th at the O2 Arena here in London. Fellas, how are we?
We're doing well. How about yourself?
Very good, very good. So, back in the UK, Deontay.
Yeah, man.
Been here, you came over here in 2013, retired Audley Harrison. I suspect you probably think you're going to retire Derek Chisora. Do you like it here in the UK?
Well, he did, didn't it?
I do like it in the UK. You know, when you're in the boxing business, and when you come over here, you know, there's some of the best boxing fans in the world that lives here. You know, so it's only right to come here to experience experience the excitement of the boxing fans. So.
You was here actually you boxed in 2013, I think it was. Audley
Harrison.
Most definitely. That's what I was about to get into. You know, I haven't been far as fighting wise. I haven't been here since then. So I'm very excited.
You were sparring with Adam Booth, weren't you, at one point as well?
Adam, over with David Hay.
Yeah,
you know,
absolutely.
That was,
you like the UK?
I do. I enjoy some of the people.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's very delightful to come around and see the surrounding people, especially when they like you and they want to do so much for you. Every time I come over here, it's nothing but, I don't get nothing but love.
Respect,
Nothing but love, you know. Walking the streets and everything else.
Are you a Trump man in your part of the world?
I don't really get into too much of the politics of
Unlike him, because you might be politically, ideologically unaligned with him because he's a big supporter of the Reform Party, so who's a Trump aligned. When we asked you to come on, the first question I wanted to ask you was, why are you fighting Derek Chisora? What's the motivation for you to take on Derek Chisora?
Well, the history with me and Derek is, you know, we were supposed to fall like maybe a decade ago. You know what I mean? So it goes way back then, and then fast forward, we're supposed to fall in December, and then in February, and here it is in April. You know, so we have had a history of aligning fights together, but it hasn't been the appropriate time. And I'm a type of person that believe in, you know, things may not come when you want it, but it's always on time, because I serve an on-time God, you know. So this is the moment that it fits the bill right now at this moment in time, especially the things that I've been through in my career and stuff. Like I've told Derek before, and the media and people, I need him more than he needs me, you know. He said this is a retirement fight, and for me, I'm looking for more things, you know, to come after this. So with the attributes that he has to offer, with the pressure that he brings, you know, I said pressure break pipes, but it also build diamonds. I'm looking for the diamond, you know, end of it. And I just needed to see if I'm truly mentally back like I feel that I am. And there's no other perfect opponent for me than a Derek Chisora.
Okay.
And then I love the environment that I'm coming into his territory.
When you say he's the perfect opponent for you, why? Because he'll stand in front of you?
Yeah, he's gonna stand in front of me, he's gonna come forward, he's gonna put that pressure on me, he's gonna throw everything in the kitchen sink at me. He don't care where he hits, you know, and I need a man like that, and he's not afraid. I need someone like that at this point in time for me, because I know what I'm gonna bring as well. You know, it's gonna be an all-out war. You know, so
that's what
I'm looking forward to it.
That's what we're looking forward to. Derek, for you, Deontay Wilder, your 50th fight.
Yes, sir.
Now, we all know that you say, and we'll talk about that a bit later on, this is your final fight. For you, is this kind of win-win? Because it's a very credible name with a huge amount of gravitas and a big reputation. So either which way, if you go in there and you win the fight on your 50th fight, and we'll talk about whether that leads to something else for you, despite the fact that your wife tells you that it won't. But if you were to lose, you lose to arguably the heaviest hitting heavyweight in the history of the division.
Yes. Yes, I think the only way I could lose is if I get knocked down
In the first round.
in the first round, and I can't get back up. And I wake up and I'm like, what happened? The doctor will say, 10, you're out. That's the best way, you know. But I don't think this fight will go past 8 rounds or 6 rounds. I don't see it.
I know you haven't been in with him yet, but in your mind's eye, you've fought a pantheon of fighters, right? Is he, in your mind's eye, likely to be the hardest hitting heavyweight? I know we talk about the fact his reputation precedes him, and people talk about that as a matter of course of his 97% knockout record. Is he likely, from your point of view, to be the most jarring puncher that you've been in with?
Deontay is very strong. I already tested his strength already. He knows it already. He's very strong. I've pushed him around even in Dubai. You know, I'm sizing him up. He's very strong. Is he going to be the hardest puncher out of boxer? I don't know yet until I get in there.
Both of you guys have been written off in recent times, you know, at the world level, at the highest level. You know, what do you say to the people, the fans that have written you off, you know, that, and you're still going at this stage? Because a lot of them would say, you know, at this stage of the game that maybe both of you should have retired.
I think those people call out retirement. It's like Simon Jordan was just on the sofa every time, just shouting for everybody's retirement.
I've never told anyone to retire. I've told you to retire your mouth a few times, but I've never told you to retire fighting.
But retirement is what, though?
I don't think you should retire. I think you should do what you want, mate.
You say that now, though, but when I'm not here, you say something else.
Rubbish.
Yeah, but anyway,
Go back to the point.
people say, like, couch bunnies, like, oh, you should retire. Computers, not a great fight. We don't want to watch that game. You should retire. But really and truly, I enjoy boxing. This guy enjoys boxing. It don't matter how much money we have, you know. Boxing is just got those demons. Even when you retire, it's just like it calls you back and back and back again.
Well, that's the point, that you want to retire from boxing before boxing retires you, right? And there's a very fine balance to that. With
No.
guys at that sort of level.
100%. Is just, listen, the moment you walk in the boxing gym as an amateur, yeah, you're done. You're hooked. You're hooked. You got a disease. You're a junkie. That's it.
Yeah.
You know, I remember when I walked in the gym, I was like, okay, fine. The moment I left, I'm waiting for the bus. I started shadowboxing like a numbnut. Crazy, by myself. You know, that's when I knew I was done. And then from this day, I'm still shadowboxing. I even see when I'm hanging out with Mike Tyson. He's sitting out, and you see him moving his hand. Like, what are you doing? Do you understand? So it's difficult for people to understand that because they've never been in this game. Yeah.
But I think in fairness to you, Derek, and not to cut across Spencer, the only reason people have ever mentioned retirement about you is because somehow you've managed to achieve this national treasure status that I indicated at the beginning of this conversation. And people only do it from the position of being concerned because every fight that you go into is a war, hence the moniker. And so people looking at your career, and that's the only reason people have ever talked about you potentially retiring, because I've never begrudged you at this renaissance at the back end of your career, getting yourself in a position where you get all the rewards that you might have not got at the beginning. But as far as retirement for you, Deontay, and I listened to the Rick Reno conversation that you guys had, which is interesting because he's the only person I've seen on camera that dresses worse than Derek. But as far as your sort of retirement concerned, people saw this bronze bomber that went into fights, whatever they thought about your technical ability, but it was undeniable what you did to people. And then they saw this very different animal in the 2 fights against Joseph Parker and Zhilei Zhang.
Correct.
And that's really the only reason people were saying, or are saying, you retire potentially because you've been on a battlefield of 50 fights, all of them being wars, and you because it looked like you were done. And I know you get quite cross, both of you, about the armchair pundits and people that have never laced up gloves and people that have never put their ass in a ring, to paraphrase you.
Right.
But that's the why people. So can you see why people might have said that?
I mean, I understand why people say certain things, you know, but, you know, as a fighter, you know, we can only take certain things that people say like a grain of salt because, like you said, you guys haven't scrapped up a glove, you haven't been in the ring, you don't know what it takes to get yourself together 6 to 8 months. Some go longer, you know, and to prepare yourself mentally, physically, emotionally for a fight that could last 1 second or 12 or go the whole 12
36
rounds.
minutes, yeah.
You know what I mean? So with that being said, you know, I walk by faith and not by sight. You know, I understand that God don't put no more on me than I can bear, and by me still having the mindset and the willingness and the heart to still want to go and do it, you know, that's what's going to lead me to. You know, I still have ambitions. I still have goals. I still see myself doing what I've set to do in this business before. People fail to realize that I started this sport at 21, this business at 21. You know, people fail to realize I was, you know, although I was in the Olympics, I was the only one to medal for my country, but I was the least experienced out of the whole, the tournament of people in there. I was still working my way up. While all the other guys that was already established, they'd have been here multiple times.
Not dissimilar to him, though, right? Because neither one of you had massive amateur careers. You started, you went first into a ring at 19, didn't you, Derek?
Yeah, 19
Yeah.
years.
So you're not dissimilar.
I think the difficult thing to give up, though, isn't it, is that training, you know, that in the gym, that smell, you know, the smelling the arena, all of that, the buzz, the adrenaline. I know, Derek, that you know, you've talked about how emotional it's going to be for you, 50th and final fight and all that, and it's going to be difficult to walk away from that. Now, Deontay, the reason you got into boxing was to support your daughter at the time, right?
Yes.
You know, and you went and you've achieved what you've achieved, and you reached the pinnacle of the sport. You win the world titles, you get the fame, you get the glory, you get the money. Where does the driving force come from now?
Well, you know, as you describe the path that has happened with me, especially like you said with my daughter, you know, I got in this business only because of her. So I was willing to risk my life for my child, you know, to build money for her condition. So that lets you know my character about how I feel as a father first and foremost. And then getting into this business, you know, it's a love-hate relationship in this business.
How did boxing come into your mind, though? Like you say, like, you know, you're thinking like the way to support your child who needs support, you know, you need to make big money. Why choose boxing? I
chose boxing because I always had skills, you know, far as fighting wise. I put it like this: I never looked for trouble, but trouble always found me. You know, I was always the type of guy that knew what I wanted to do in life, in and out of life. You know, coming from Tuscaloosa, Alabama, we knew very little about boxing. I knew nothing about it, you know, but we did have a gym there, you know, come to find out after I joined years later. But I, you know, got into it because of my daughter, and, you know, my whole mentality of where I'm from is all about, you know, American football, you know, and being around the environment and seeing rivals come there, seeing the whole city, you know, get up and be so excited, having the school spirit and come and see it. You know, you only see as a child and want to do as you see. And, you know, I've always wanted to be a professional athlete. You know, that's always been my thing.
But the question has to be, Deontay, and I understand and appreciate all of that, and that's a wonderful testament to your character. But you're 40 years of age now.
Yes.
You've won the world title. You've had your adversities, you've had your challenges, you've had issues in your personal life, which we'll touch upon very briefly in a second. But why are you fighting now?
We love it. You know, it's a love-hate relationship, you know. For me, and not only just because I love it, but for me, ever since 12 years old, I've always been doing something for people. I've always been taking care of people, you know. Even when getting into the business, I said I did it for my daughter. And so I did it very well, you know. I told her that I would be able to support her beyond her belief. I told her that when she was 1 year old, and I've done that.
And you've achieved that.
I've achieved that. So at this point in time in my life, I'm selfish.
It's about you.
I've been selfless for a long time, since 12. And it's all about me. I've never done nothing for myself. It's always been for people. And when you have a good heart and you do so much for people, that's, you know, and that
people take
with good heart
advantage.
always get taken advantage of, you know.
It's a difficult industry to enter, though, isn't it? Because you enter this injury not knowing what it is. It's the Wild West, and you go, you find out, you put a lot of trust in people, and you find out then that trust goes. You know, there's a lot of betrayal and all the rest
Spencer,
of it.
that's not unique to boxing, is it?
Well,
in every walk
yeah,
of
but it's
life,
worse in boxing, Simon.
Yeah, no,
It's worse in boxing.
It's worse in
Boxing is
boxing.
those
It is.
scumbags.
Yes,
Boys,
it is.
try
Those scumbags,
try
man.
in a professional football club.
No,
You'll have the same thing.
scumbags,
But
yeah,
Derek,
whatever.
I mean, I hate to ask this question because I always hate commentators ask people negative questions.
So
straight
go
after
on,
it.
because you're...
We know that you're going to potentially retire, Derek. You've told us you're going to retire. If you lose this fight, which you're not contemplating now, is retirement the option for you as well, Deontay?
Not for me.
Come on.
No, if you lose, you won't be retiring.
I mean, well, you know, I can't see it. I can't see as far as I can throw in that situation of things, but I can only go as
You
what
take
my
a
heart
longer
is telling
break. You
me,
take a longer
you know?
break.
And I don't fear retirement because I don't see myself losing at all. You
Okay,
know?
well, that's fair enough. But you and your retirement charade, right? You've been saying you're going to retire for the last 4 or 5 fights. You go into...
Let me
finish the
yeah,
question and you can smack me about afterwards. You beat this guy.
Yeah.
You put this name on your record, right? And it opens up an opportunity for you to fight for a world title. Are you telling me somebody that stepped in the ring twice to win world titles, someone that's got a renaissance now that's so popular, that's on a good run of form, despite his missus wearing the pants in the house, are going to not fight again for a world title opportunity if you beat this guy? Is that what you're seriously telling me, Derek?
I whooped this guy's booty. Yeah. I am hanging it up, bro. I'm done. You're missing the point, Simon.
No, I'm not.
Yeah, I want to explain.
I would have a
something,
bet with you, but you
okay?
don't pay him.
No. Listen. We've seen it so many times. I think only one fighter in the United Kingdom has retired, never came back.
Joe Kawasaki.
Lennox.
Joe Kawasaki.
And Lennox as well.
Do you understand?
And Lennox as well.
Yeah, and Lennox, yeah. No, but Lennox is Canadian.
Okay, I'll let you tell him that. Right? He's Canadian when he loses, right?
Yeah, bro, he's Canadian, yeah. But what kind of... You see, that's the problem with you guys. You don't understand. I am going to win this fight, and I'm going to walk off and go home.
But I know how difficult it is for you to walk away from the sport because I know how passionate you are with the
It's
sport.
not
And Derek,
difficult,
it's
bro.
not as easy as that, bro. It is as easy because when you said you was going to walk away and it was your last dance last time and there was a lot of emotions in the ring and tears and whatnot and you didn't want to miss this whole atmosphere, it's going to be even bigger this time.
But I told everybody at 50 fights and I'm out. Yeah, that was 40, 48, 49. Yeah, so I was very emotional, do you understand? Because if I had lost that fight, there was no point of doing number 50. Yeah.
Well, we will see. It'll be a nice position for you to be in. With all due respect to you, Deontay, I hope he's in that position that he goes out with a win and sails off into the sunset. Talk to me about your alter ego. Talk to me about the Bronze Bomber, this character. Talk to me about Ayahuasca, because you going on this little journey. I remember watching an episode of The Sopranos when James Gandolfini goes into the desert and takes some peyote and comes back with a whole new world view. DMT, which is a component part of ayahuasca, is one of those things that takes a personality, strips it back, removes its ego, and turns it into a completely different person. You said on the discussion with Rick Reno, going into the fights that you had with Joseph Parker, and it was after the Zhili Zhang, you realised that you weren't together, your mind wasn't right, your mind was gone. I would have thought, with all due respect, you might have realised that in the Joseph Parker fight, but notwithstanding it, you got to that epiphany after the Zhili Zhang fight. How can you, after taking that experience, and I know people that have done this, right, and I know what it's done for them, and to some extent to them, if you pare back the ego of a fighter, it's a component part of you guys, it's what makes you so unique. Can you get back to what was this wrecking machine, this, you know, I don't like to use the word killing machine because I think it's thrown around too easily. Is that gone now, or are you going to get it, can it come back?
I mean, it's in me. It's in me and on me. You know, during the time, you know, even with the Joseph Parker thing, you know, me and Joseph were good friends as well. We've talked many times, and I don't have to tell him nothing. He'll tell you yourself that wasn't you. We've talked in New York about it.
But that's
you
the
know?
point, isn't it?
Yeah, for
but
sure.
That's directly, must be correlated to this Zen-like navel-gazing experience you went on to for whatever reason you did it, probably to do with your personal life.
But it has nothing to do with
ayahuasca.
That's the thing about it. It has nothing to do with ayahuasca. Ayahuasca didn't take me out of my zone of thing. You know, ayahuasca actually made me feel better. You know what I mean? It actually made me happier. I've said that before.
But that's its job, because it strips you back.
Yeah, it made me, and
I
needed that happiness in my life at that moment in time. You know, ayahuasca, you don't know what you're gonna get. You don't know what you're gonna get when you do it, but you will leave with everything you need. That's for sure. And I'm looking to do it again as well at some point in time. You know, it's a beautiful experience. You know,
coming with you.
Come on with it, bro. It'll be beautiful. You know,
You two, that would be absolutely nuts.
Take him
But
and leave
listen,
him there.
we talked out in Dubai, and you talked about that not being the reason for you losing that killer instinct.
Not at all.
But you said that it was more about your personal life and the betrayal that was going in and around you, not just in the boxing world, but with family members, etc., etc., etc. And that's all behind you now. So we'll see the old Deontay Wilder. Is that the case?
That's what we're looking for. You know, I don't want the old Deontay Wilder. I want the new one.
Right, and what is the new one?
Well, we have to find out and see. That's the whole thing, you know. That's why I think this is the perfect opponent for me to reveal that, you know. I feel different, you know. I even sound different. My mindset is different. People really don't know what I've been through because I don't express myself in my personal life to people. Even when people, like I've said, 99% of things that have been said negative about me is not true because people don't know me in that sense. When I box and after a fight, I'm MIA, nobody hear of me. I'm barely on social media. I don't really do that. When people say things about me, I don't take initiative and use my platform to come out and defend myself, which leaves speculations about things or nobody really knows, so they only taking what is being heard or told and
but
not
also,
doing
Deontay,
homework.
they're also taking what they see, mate. So if they see you go into a fight and they expect what they've seen previously.
Correct.
And they see you walk into Joseph Parker, and I made this comment, and you're not going to like me for it. I made a comment about Prince, the artist, who was normally the artist formerly known as Prince, and I described you as the fighter formerly known as Deontay Wilder, because what I saw in the fight against Joseph Parker and Zhili Zhang was a fighter that was gone.
He was.
There was nothing left
He
of
was
him.
not there. When the bell rung, it was like a hypnosis state. I would go back into something like, I don't understand it. You know what I'm saying? But my thing is, what confuses me with people, you know, especially in boxing, you know, all my career, they say, oh, he can't fight, he can't do this, he's not good or whatever. And then fast forward to this, it's like we want him to go back how he used to be. He ain't as good as he used to be. What is it? Was I good or not? That's what I'm trying to understand.
So are you in a position where you think now that you will be the best version of Deontay Wilder because you want the best version of Deontay Wilder? Because when you beat him, Derek, in your mind's eye, you want to beat the best version of Deontay Wilder, don't you?
Me?
Yeah, you.
Listen, I want any Deontay Wilder, but I prefer the album. There's this new Deontay Wilder.
Calm, sage like navel gazing one.
Listen, it's boxing. You know, as this guy right now, he's in the process of healing. You know, if you understand, he's been healing through this podcast, saying his problems, and that's cool. That's part of healing. You understand? So, April 4th, it's going to be electric at the arena, O2 Arena. So
Listen, the environment is a great environment. British boxing fans are fabulous. You know, it's an interesting one for Deontay because I don't know if he's ever going to walk into an arena where he's going to have such a partisan crowd, and that's going to be an interesting experience for you because, as I said, he's a national treasure. I think he should be buried, but as a national treasure, in some people's minds, he's a valuable asset, and the fans love him. I wanted to move you on to Tyson Fury.
I don't want to talk about him.
No, you're going to.
We're here about.
No, but you're going to.
We're not going to talk about him at all.
But as part
we're
of
not going to talk about him at all. Understand that?
No, fair enough.
All right then. So let's move on. It's all about Derek Chisora, and that's it.
I understand that. The
only back, baby. Y'all understand that? You better be. April the 4th is going down.
The only reason
at the O2, you better be there.
Fabulous.
You'll be a square.
The only reason I mentioned it is because it's part of the shtick that goes with you. And I missed you first time round when you came in here 3 years ago, when you were in your pomp 4 years ago, doing Bomb Squad and all that sort of stuff. And I have always wanted to have a conversation with you because you've made observations about Fury. I have my own views on Fury. And you've called him a cheat. And it leads me
the biggest in boxing.
Yeah, but it leads me to a conclusion.
Biggest in boxing. If somebody practicing, taking their stuff out of their gloves in training, what you think they're going to do in the fight?
Yeah, but...
That's all I got to say about that,
I want to put something to you about you, right? And Fury just happens to be the hook for it.
That's all I got to say about him.
You talked about being cheated in that fight. You talked about water being spiked. You talked about your Game of Thrones outfit being too heavy for you.
I didn't say that.
You said it was too heavy for you.
I didn't say that.
Okay, well I might be wrong on that one. You talked about the long.
Y'all took a journalist that said something because y'all, you know, everybody wanted to come in. Oh, wow, boom, boom, boom.
You talked about a long count,
you know,
right? And then you talked about the trainers, Mark Breland not being good enough.
No, I didn't say he wasn't good enough.
So what I'm asking you in all of this is, it sounds to me, given the character that you are, that's like a little bit flaky. You lost those fights, and those fights were lost. And you saying that someone like Fury cheated you in those fights, I think is kind of disappointing to me.
You can say what you want. I know the truth. I have the facts.
Okay.
Understand that. But I got the facts of it.
No, fair enough.
I got the proof. I got the people to tell it.
And we'll look forward to seeing that. We'll look forward to seeing that.
Understand that. What I say in boxing, I mean, and it's the truth. I risk my life for you's entertainment to see.
No, absolutely.
So why I ain't never lied about nothing in this business.
But,
you can believe why is it so hard to believe a black man than a white man? Understand me? Why is it so hard to believe a black man than a white man?
Why you don't believe?
Why is it?
Let me ask you a question.
Yeah, go on.
So we can go there.
First and foremost, it's got nothing to do with colour.
No, it does. This whole country got some. This whole world got something to do with race. You think you pan out? You think you have a? You think you done had a great life? You think your life has been like mine?
Listen,
you got white privilege, brother.
Oh, don't start.
I ain't never had that.
Don't start my.
I'm a black man with dark skin. Ain't nothing ever been given to me. I done had to kick in every opportunity that I've had.
Look, Derek likes this.
That's what it is.
Derek likes
y'all don't understand. Maybe y'all don't talk about this shit in this country.
Yes, we do, mate.
But when you get me in here, I speak the peace. I speak the truth.
Well, let me ask you a question.
Let me ask you.
Yeah, go on. Go on.
If this is about colour,
y'all got the wrong person.
Yeah, go on.
If he's about colour,
y'all understand that.
How is Derek Chisora then, out of curiosity, given he's a black man? A national treasure in this country then. It's not about colour. You called somebody a chick. I asked you a question.
Oh, come on. You have a whole lot of black people around this
question.
Thank you.
Stop, bro. You like the question. All right, I moved on.
Stop it.
I moved on.
I want to pull it back in. Derek, let me ask you a question. I want to ask you a question about fight week. Deontay, let me just get into Derek about fight week. Now, both of you are known to be dynamic in fight week. We just see the little taster of that right now.
Come on, man. Y'all can't tell, man.
So the bronze bomber, there he is.
Yeah, so
come on, man.
Come on, we can have a disagreement, can't we?
Life, as a little boy and I bet your view as a little boy is totally different than my view as a little boy. Most black people, why we so into it with each other, because we have PTSD. We done been through so much so much.
You wanted to move on, right?
Come on. It's hard to move on when you don't know the truth, and that's when I come in and try to give you a vision, a little insight of what we go through as black people, man.
I got it.
You don't get it.
Well, okay.
None of y'all get it.
Where do you want me to go?
Y'all don't get it. And that's the problem. You think you get what you don't understand.
Okay.
Why is it so hard? Y'all act, man, let me I'm gonna get up out this bitch.
This is a little chaser of what we're gonna get. Both of you guys are big characters. It's gonna be explosive, right? I mean, I don't even have to ask this guy because I've just got a little taster of that. But come on,
man.
Both of you guys are big in the fight week. Let's pull it back into the fight. Let's talk about the fight.
It's hard to put it back. I'm from the South. You understand?
Come on, let's pull it back into the fight.
It's hard when y'all don't understand. I get another situation. I said I didn't want to talk about the situation. Now you got me riled up.
Fair enough.
Right.
Wilder's back. You understand? I feel shit. You understand me?
Got it.
You don't mean that, man.
Okay, stop
shouting at me. Let me get the out of here, bro. I'm out of here. I'm out of here. Talking about my peoples and all that shit. It's hard to believe a black man than a white man. The cheated. Tell him to sue me so I can show the facts early. Because when the documentary and everything, the story come out, I'm going to show everything.
Fantastic.
I'm going to get all the people that know and all the people that's in the inside. He got people that the inside of him that know. I don't, what? I don't about that.
I'm not a Fury fan.
About it. I said we didn't want to bring him up in the first place. It ain't got shit to do with him.
Fair enough.
The you talking about?
Yeah, man, you, man. I'm out too.
What happened there wasn't right.
He told you don't bring it up. But you
Come on. It's on schedule. I had to ask the question. What about Fury? Everyone else can ask him. Rick Reno asks him. Why can't I ask him? Derek, sit down. Come on. I waited for you for half an hour. Don't be a dickhead. Come on. We wanted to see the bronze bomber. For whatever reason, we just saw the bronze bomber.
So basically, as you can see, I end up sitting on his chair. What Simon is not telling you is the truth, that you got him upset.
I did. Not designed to. But we saw the bronze bomber, is my point.
Yeah, and you're looking for that beast. And then
Not really.
He came out.
I was looking for an answer to the question.
And then you came out, and you went red. And
so would you do. If someone, well, you
Mate.
maybe not.
And then I heard you fight a little bit.
Wait. Just quickly, right. Derek, just quickly. Before we wrap this up, you went upstairs to see Deontay afterwards, and I hear he was getting even worse up there. Did he calm down at all?
But you have to understand, listen, you see, black guys who grew up in London. Yeah? Let me finish.
I got it, Derek, but let's not make it all about
No,
race.
let me finish.
This is about race.
Let me finish. He grew up in Alabama.
Derek, I understand there's challenges in that country, but no one talked about race. He did. Let's just go on with the finishing off this. Listen, I think it's a great fight.
Listen, it's a great fight.
I think it's a fight that you can win. I think the interesting thing for me is if you do what you do, which is put him under pressure and put him on the back foot, I don't think he can land the way that lands if he's put under pressure and off balance. I think this is a fight you can win. I hope you do win after that performance. I'm desperate for you to win. I think it's going to be a great fight. You know me, I'm always going, well, Simon, do you want to watch my fights? No, I don't want to see Dillian Whyte versus Derek Chisora 3. I want to see this.
The reason why
Even
you
more
want to
so-
see it because he mugged you off.
Derek, if you think shouting at someone in the studio, not having a conversation, is mugging somebody off, we have a difference of opinion.
I'm joking.
Listen, I'm
And the
looking forward to it.
$1 million question, just quickly, is that people were wondering: is the Bronze Bomber back? Will we ever see him back? I think we've got a little taste of that.
There we go.
Like, yeah.
Listen, good luck, you. That's it for this.
Thank you very much for having me.
You're welcome. Thank you for coming. You were late. That's it for this special episode of Talk Boxing. April the 4th, Deontay Wilder versus Derek Chisora. Judging by what we've just seen, be there.